I'm Mary Beth Stapleton, Manager of Family and Community Partnerships for Harford County Public Schools. I'm here today at beautiful Prospect Mill Elementary as we get started to open the school year with a new video series called Principal Toolkit. These toolkit videos are going to be designed for principals to learn from each other and steal ideas, if you will. And here I am with Ms. Jankowiak.
Yes.
Nice to see
Karen
you.
Jankowiak, proud principal.
Awesome. It's so good to be here. And we've been walking around the school this morning looking at all the wonderful things that you're doing to welcome families into your school community this school year. So one thing I wanted to highlight for the principals out there that are looking at the video is, first and foremost, we know that PTA standards are about welcoming families into the school building and just really creating an environment that's family friendly. Can you just talk a little bit about how you do that as a leader for your school?
Yes, ma'am. Well, it takes teamwork, and so one of the things that we want to know is who makes up our community. So when our students are registered, we also often look at the information in Cognos, and we look to see what are the languages spoken. So sometimes people don't see Prospect Mill as very diverse, but any given year we might have 11 to 16 different languages spoken. We will often ask families how to say hello in their native language, and so that was part of our idea this school year, is to get our students understanding the word for friendships and friends. So you'll see that this bulletin board was created for that very reason.
Wonderful, and I see so many different languages here. That's so interesting. And so you're able to ask the parents how to say hello in their language and make them feel welcome.
Yes, and they're always surprised because we just recently had a family register from Nigeria, and there are 3 major languages spoken in that country, and then they shared which language they would fit into, and then there might be sub-languages underneath that. And they just really seemed flattered that we wanted to know that information.
Wonderful. And you were also sharing about how when you're talking with families with other languages as they come in and do the language line and really talk with you about their child, you use the language line in an interesting way.
Yeah, that's really important for us. That's a great resource, but sometimes you need to schedule a call with an interpreter, and we often invite the parent to come face-to-face for that meeting, even though we're using the language line. That way parents can interpret our facial cues, our mannerisms as we speak, and most importantly, we're just using that third party to help us translate the important information about a child, whether it's discipline in nature or something that we want to do to support a child through the student services team, and certainly if there's a student who also receives specialized instruction through the IEP process.
Yeah, and we know even those families that speak English or don't speak English, it's okay because we have such a lovely environment here as they come into your schoolhouse. There's beautiful stones out there I saw in your garden out front. Can you talk a little bit about how you do that for families coming in at the beginning of the year?
So every summer we meet with our PTA exec board, and we were looking at The One and Only You. It's a children's book, and so we made that a school initiative that every teacher would read that story to the students, and then our PTA helped find volunteers where each of our students were able to create a rock of their choice as a culmination to that project. And then we had some students come over from Harvard Tech to help us shape the rock garden. But every year we have new students in kindergarten. So each year we reserve some time for our kindergarten students to also be acquainted with that book and then paint the book. Paint the rock.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, and that said, I think having families come into the school building and see those rocks and know that, okay, now my child is literally a part of the community here, which is fabulous. And the other thing I wanted to highlight for our principals is that we know with standards, with PTA standards, and we talked a lot about engaging every family, really having those signs throughout the building. Don't just assume that parents know where things are or even the students know where things are. So you did some innovative things throughout the building to highlight that.
Yeah, when we have open house and back to school nights and events, it's really easy that we can see things down the hallway to direct people. So we may not be able to walk all the way down the hallway, but being able to have signs that are clear. So we have each of our pods labeled, and then we have like our nurse's office, our bathrooms labeled, and the main office. So we can tell them to look at the specific signs, which are really important.
Well, and it's so obvious when you walk into this building and you see the welcome signs and the pandas everywhere, go pandas. It's just a welcoming environment for families, and they feel like they're part of the school community. So thank you for your leadership
You're welcome.
and for sharing this really amazing ideas for our other principals across the district.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.